Well, hello there. It's Vic, your whiskey minister. Oh, I've actually not changed the name. Well, there you go. You can't get everything right all the time. Hello, it's Vic here. How you doing? Welcome to my 100 drams in 22. It's my third night. I started a week ago, and I'm trying to do 2 or 3 a week of nosings and tastings to work my way through 2022 to look at 100 drams. And I will change my name before I do it next time, but we've started now, so we'll just carry on. So tonight, yes, night 3 in my 100 drams in 22. And I said I was going to start off by looking at my top 3 drams from last year. And I started the other night with Glenmorangie Elementa, and then I had Ardbeg Corryvreckan. And tonight, I'm going to take you through my top dram from last year. And it's a bit like the other two. It's a dram that I was given as a gift. So, really blessed to be given so much or so many fantastic bottles of whiskey in the run up to Christmas. And I got this as a gift from a company that I do some work with called the Really Good Whiskey Company. If you remember, the whole of December, or from the 1st to the 25th, I went through my whiskey selection box with them. And I do a monthly blind nosing and tasting with Shelley and Alex. And we'll have a great time. So they sent me up this bottle as a gift for Christmas. And it was been my favourite whiskey of the year. And it's from a distillery that once I left Diageo and started discovering other whiskies and other distilleries, rapidly became one of my favourite distilleries and one of my favourite whiskies. And it's a Tamdhu. Now, I remember the first time I had a Tamdhu, I really didn't like the shape of this bottle. But then I tasted the whiskey. And I used to think the way my palate was, I didn't really like sherry cask whiskies. But then I discovered Tamdhu, and I got in touch with Sandy, the manager up there, Sandy McIntyre, who used to work with at Diageo, and asked to come up for a look round because it's not got a visitor centre. But Sandy said, "Yeah, come on up, we'll have a look round." And I went up, and Sandy gave me a real education in sherry casks and different types of casks and how they use that. Tamdhu only use sherry casks for making their single malt Scotch whisky. But what Sandy showed me was that they use American oak and European oak sherry casks, and that gives them quite different whiskies. So it came to the stage where I really couldn't say I don't like sherry cask whiskies because there's different types of sherry casks. See where I'm coming from? But I also changed my mind because Tamdhu and Sandy educated me to the flavors and the tastes. And I was actually introduced to Tamdhu by Woody. He had a Tamdhu 10. And I really enjoyed the whiskies. Now, what I found when I was at Tamdhu with Sandy is that I had a real preference for American oak as to against European oak for the type of whiskies that I enjoyed. Preferred my whiskies to have been matured in American oak. And where I was saying I don't really like sherry casks, what I found out I was actually saying was I'm not exactly partial to European oak sherry casks. Because Sandy let me taste a few samples. They were doing some. They had some samples ready for doing different bottlings, and some was from European oak and some was from American oak. And the first thing I noticed was the difference in colour. The European oak ones at the same age were darker, and the American oak ones were lighter. Both sherry casks, but the flavours were completely different. And for me, some of the European oak, especially the older samples, were too woody and too tannic and too mouth drying for what I liked. But you know what? The sherry casks from the American oak just wasn't like that. It was completely different. And what I like about this whiskey, this is the Tamdhu Distinction Quercus Alba. This has been matured solely in American oak sherry casks. Now, if you have a Tamdhu 12 like I have there, or if you've got a Tamdhu 10 still, fortunate to have that. I've actually finished all mine. And I think there's a 15 and another age I can't remember. They're a mixture of European oak and American oak. Always sherry casks, but a mixture of European oak and American oak. This Quercus Alba, you know, the name kind of gives it away. Quercus alba is the genus and species of American white oak. So this Tamdhu Distinction Quercus alba has been matured solely in American oak sherry casks. They take the wood over from America, make the casks, season them in Oloroso sherry over there, and then take them over to Scotland and make this absolutely stunning whiskey. 48% alcohol by ABV, non-age statement. So again, you know, nothing against non-age statements as long as it's good whiskey. Non-chill filtered, non-coloured. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, that to me is slightly lighter than I would expect a sherry cask, but then that would be a European oak sherry cask. This is a really light golden colour. I can smell it already. It's a light golden colour, 48% alcohol, non-age statement. But it's been my favourite whiskey of the year. So let's have a nose. Oh, lots of fresh fruit. Green apples predominantly on the nose. But there's sort of tropical fruits in there as well. I can't quite pick them out just now. But sort of sweet tropical fruits. Green apples. And of course, because it's American oak, there's lots of vanilla in here. And you guys know me by now. I love my vanilla in my whiskey. A little bit of toffee and a little bit of woody notes. I'm not really getting that huge sherry bomb that you would expect, you know, the dried fruits, the Christmas cake, the sultanas, the coffees. I'm not getting any of that on the nose. This is just fresh. And what I found from my education with Sandy is that the American oak seemed much fresher, much lighter than the European oak, which was quite drying and woody. A beautiful nose. It's just saying, let's have a sip. So, Slanjiva, I hope you've enjoyed your Sunday. Hope you're having a dram as well. I had a fantastic Sunday. You can see I've not changed my StreamYard yet. I'm still Pastor Vic from this morning. Had a great church service this morning. Had a great time this afternoon talking to some of my friends over in India in the church there. So I've had a great day. I hope you guys have had a great day. And I'm just kind of finishing it off with my favourite whiskey of the year. So I'm gonna have a wee taste now. Now that is a beautiful mouthfeel. Silky smooth, very gentle, slightly tingling on the tip of my tongue. But there's that fruit. And it's kind of buttery, toffee, creamy. Absolutely beautiful dram. And a lovely, fresh vanilla finish. You know, the sort of what you would think would be your traditional sherry cask whiskey. This is not it. But I think that what I associate that with, I think that's European oak. That what I would say that traditional sherry whiskey. But this is stunning. This is fruity. This is sweet. It's not drying in the mouth at all. And that vanilla creme brulee, vanilla custard finish is just stunning. Beautiful dram. Oh, I mean, I'm very fortunate. I had a lot of really good drams last year. Wonderful whiskies. But this was the top for me. This is the Tamdhu Distinction Quercus Alba. Love Tamdhu. Love what Ian McLeod distillers are doing. You know, Tamdhu and Glengoyne. Love what they're doing at Tamdhu, especially. Love some of the stuff coming out there. Really love the 10-year-olds. Really enjoying the 12-year-old now. So great whiskies. Actually met Sandy yesterday wandering around Blair's Loch. So it's great to see an ex-Diageo buddy doing really well and Distiller of the Year and things like that. Best cask strength whiskey of the year, things like that, doing great up there. So, and this is another fantastic dram coming out of Tamdhu. So that was the Tamdhu Distinction Quercus Alba. Whiskey Minister number 1 for 2021. And that was my number 300 drams in 22. So thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Hope you're looking forward to your week. If you're working or you're retired or you're at college, whatever. Hope you have a fantastic week. And I'll see you a couple of times during the week, hopefully. Don't know what nights I'm going to do it. But I'm going to try and get through 100 drams in 22. So I will see you during the week sometime. If you're having a dram, just have the one. Please be safe. Please drink responsibly. And I will see you all again in a couple of days. Cheers. Bye now.